diferente, de otro modo, nunca igual al de otra gente, respetando tus espacios.
月圆风般吹散沉香，香满旗檐上。
Tell me, what is it?
I'll go now and see if your brother has come yet.
Why did you break your own promise? Why did you? Tell me why. Tell me why.
Do you know if Poison King dies, we'll never have an antidote, and Fei will die?
Come on, let her go. Listen to what she has to say.
Do you know what? He said that cure all blood would never cure Faye's poison. All my efforts for the past 10 years have been for nothing.
I've burned all of your precious herbs. That's what you deserve for helping her leave.
以为当归入药汤，相思泪许的心头上。捏儿了手捂在纸上，要淋湿。
Get the VIP access to the best shows on KBC Channel 1. We have something different, something special to spice you up. Get ready for new, exciting and captivating dramas. Movies.
Love the smell.
Comedy.
I went to the Popos. Huh?
Drama.
Did he assault the Queen in my house, in my presence?
News, sports and so much more. Do the things that make you happy on KBC Channel 1.
The excitement of the Olympic Games doesn't just stop there, as the biggest para-sports event, the 2020 Paralympic Games, gets underway from the 24th of August to the 5th of September in Tokyo, Japan. So, get ready to be inspired by these sportsmen and women with outstanding abilities, and look out for Team Kenya too in their quest for glory by watching all the highlights daily on KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
Good afternoon, this is Lunchtime News. I trust you're having a lovely Monday so far. Well, we have a comprehensive bulletin lined up this afternoon. My name is Jacky, Wambiru. Sign language interpreter is Lucy Maura. Now, to kick us off, Kenya has received the first batch of 880,460 doses of Moderna COVID-19 vaccine. And according to the Ministry of Health, the consignment is part of the 3.5 million doses to Kenya donated by the US government through the COVAX facility. She plans to vaccinate at least 10 million people by December this year and 26 million by next year. Concerns have been raised over the low number of adults above the age of 58 being vaccinated. Statistics indicating that the high number of fatalities are being recorded in the age group due to COVID-19.
Analysis of our data has shown that 70% of the 4,497 deaths that have been reported so far are occurring in persons over 58 years of age, followed by those who are over 50 years old. It is therefore disheartening to observe that despite prioritizing the vaccinations of persons above 58 years, who are estimated to be 2.6 million, only 91% are fully vaccinated. It is therefore a matter of great urgency that we get 2.3 million people in this category quickly vaccinated to protect the...
Monday morning, Kenya received at least 880,000 doses of Moderna COVID-19 vaccine donated by the U.S. government through the COVAX facility.
With this donation of 460 doses of Moderna from the United States government, Kenya will now have received a total of 3.6 million doses of COVID-19 vaccine.
While receiving the vaccines, Principal Secretary Susan Mochacha stated that the consignment is the first of 2 consignments expected in the country in the month of August and September.
This shipment is the first of the 3.5 million doses of vaccines to Kenya by the U.S. government, which includes what we have received, the 1.76 doses, and another 1.76 doses of Pfizer vaccine, and which are scheduled to be delivered in the middle of next month.
This even as she said the country plans to increase vaccination centers from the current 800 to 3,000. At the same time, the PA said the ministry targets to vaccinate at least 150,000 people a day from the current 40,000.
1.6 million Kenyans have received their first dose, and 780,000 Kenyans are now fully vaccinated. We continue to be encouraged by the increasing uptake of the vaccines in the country, because last week alone we attained a daily vaccination rate of 40,000 people per day. And on Friday, we hit a record of 70,000 vaccinations in a single day, placing us on course to achieving our target of administering 150,000 doses daily before the end of September.
Mochache highlighting that Moderna doses now marks the second vaccine in Kenya's program after AstraZeneca, even as at least 1.7 million doses of Pfizer are also expected to be delivered in September. Adding that the latest batch brings to 3.6 million doses received by Kenya so far, and that measures have been put in place to ensure the process is seamless.
That will ensure the deployment of the Pfizer vaccine when it comes, which requires the ultra cold chain storage, which is negative 70 degrees centigrade. Report from JICA, this is the Japanese government, we have received 12 to 70 degrees centigrade freezers with a storage capacity of 3 million doses that we shall be going to unveil within the next few days. In addition, we shall be receiving 15 portable freezers from the UPS Foundation that will be used to transport these vaccines at the required temperatures.
To date, a total of 2,396,064 doses of vaccine have been administered across the country, including 1,615,687 first doses and 780,377 second doses. In other news, Boda Boda operators in Nembu have torched a school bus belonging to the Lions Primary School after an accident that claimed the life of one of them. The bus driver is reported to have been assaulted during the incident.
This is what was left of the Lions Primary School bus following the altercation between the bus driver and irate Boda Boda operators.
Hello.
The incident occasioned by an accident that left one Boda Boda operator dead, with eyewitnesses saying that both the bus driver and the Boda Boda operator were speeding leading to the accident.
Gari ilikuwa imetoka pande ya hapa osi hapo moja ikielekea pande ya St. Michael. Leo kijana wa pikipiki alikuwa ametoka ku drop watoto shule hapa St. Michael akiwa anarudi. So ikakuwa hiyo gari ilikuwa ni kama ilikuwa mwendo wa 6:45. So hii gari ya Lions ilikuwa spindi sana. So wakikuja kupitana hapa ndipo akamgonga na hiyo kijana akapass.
Ningependa kurequest hii barabara inapitwa na watoto na pia hii shule iko na watoto wako na disability, so tunaomba hii barabara watuwekee bumps ili to reduce the cost of accidents.
However, the chairman of the border operators in Embu and Eastern Region, Martin Mushira, has distanced his members from the incident.
Hao si watu wa pikipiki kwa sababu vile si tunafundisha watu wa pikipiki ama vile wanafundishwa kabla kwa barabara, hatujawafundisha gari ikifanya accident wanachoma ama wanatandika mwenye alikuwa na gari. Kwa hivyo sisi tuna condemn ya act ya leo na tutaambia watu wa pikipiki mahali popote walipo Kenya mzima, accident ikifanyika tusichukue sheria mikononi.
The driver of the bus was assaulted during the incident. Nancy Okwari, Lunchtime News.
Now, members of Kenya County Government Workers Union have criticized their Secretary General Robert Duba for allegedly auditing their retirement pension scheme without involving them. The members have called on Duba to make peace with members concerning their contribution to the scheme.
Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever.
It is unfortunate today that we are talking about one scheme instead of talking about the two schemes. And we have been pushed to this wall by our National General Secretary, who has selectively chosen to push one scheme and talk about one scheme and leave out the other scheme. So what he's doing is wrong. He is the General Secretary for the two schemes members. And as such, whenever he's talking about retirement scheme, then he must bear in mind that the two scheme members are his members.
What we expected from the General Secretary is to adopt a neutral position when dealing with matters pension. But he has continued to advance his divisive agenda of workers and in the pension schemes.
Meanwhile, more than 250 traders at the Alibaba shopping mall in Mtwapa, Kilifi County are counting losses after their stalls were brought down yesterday morning by bulldozers. The traders now are questioning the motive behind the demolition, saying there was no court order to demolish the 3-month-old trading center.
The aftermath of an early morning demolition distraught traders whose livelihood has been cut short in controversial circumstances, having rented the premises only 3 months ago. The traders claiming that there was no prior notice or court order okaying the demolition.
Sisi tunaita serikali kunasha na government tafadhali. Njoo msikie kilio ya mama, njoo msikie kilio ya wanabiashara wanyonge. Njoo msikie mtuvute machozi ambao tumelia. Tunataka haki yetu itendeke.
The demolitions were happening at the close guard of uniformed and plain-clothed police officers.
Lakini jana walipokuja usiku, polisi walikuja wakasimama pale, wakaja wakachungulia gate. Walipokuta gate imefungwa, ndio wakaamua kuingia na ile bulldozer. Walipokuja kwanza akamshika kijana wangu ule mdogo tunafanya kazi na yeye, wakamtia pingu. Na mimi pia nilipoingia hivi kwa sababu nilikuwa nafuata hapo nyuma, wakanishika tulikuwa tumeenda kwa pale.
The traders have called on the Ministry of Interior and the Kilifi County Government to come out clear on the reasons for the demolition, some fearful that banks would auction them for bad loans.
Nimetoka kuzunguka nione nitamwambia nini mwenye nyumba na mwenye hiyo pesa. Nimepata shilingi 70 wakati ninadaiwa shilingi 80,000 na sijui watoto wangu wajukuu wangu ambaye hawajui hapa ni nani wanashinda hapa kwa soko. Kila wakati tumetegemea hii soko, hakuna cha kukula, hakuna chochote. My friend, tumeka maraki, tumechukua maroni hapa, si 100 wala 3. tumeweka pesa wa mama wana biashara. Na watu walitarget zile vibanda ambao zimewekwa mali peke yake. Mbona mnaona hizi ziko empty hazijabomolewa? Wacha tuambie Mungu atutie nguvu.
John Jacob Kuria, Lunchtime News.
Visiting Egyptian scholar Sheikh Atia Abdurabuhas has urged Muslims to use Islamic religion to provide great impetus for the human pursuit of knowledge and science. While addressing a congregation in Mombasa at Masjid Shibu Mosque, the scholar said it's only through science that humankind can be able to propel the world in terms of development.
Sheikh Atia Abdurabus said the University of Al-Azhar in Cairo, Egypt has been on the forefront in sponsoring Kenyan students to pursue science-related fields.
The university in Egypt has done a lot. It has given opportunities to students from various parts of the world to go and study.
The organizer of the event, Mohamed Sheba, raised concerns over the lack of scientific literacy in parts of the modern Muslim world.
Manufaa yaliyotokea enzi iliyopita na enzi tulionao hivi sasa, na hasa kujulisha itakavyokuwa dunia inavyokwenda bila sayansi, hakuna kitu kitafanyika.
The scholar further urged Kenyans to get vaccinated and follow COVID-19 prevention measures aimed at hastening the Ministry of Health protocols as it seeks to combat COVID-19 pandemic.
We should come out and support the efforts of the government to see that the number of those affected go down in one or the other. How can it happen? We should support the government by going to the health centers and of course get vaccinated.
For Lunchtime News, I am Frederick Parsayo.
Away from that, it's a sigh of relief for more than 25 pupils from Olgulului village, Kajiado South Sub-County, after a group of well-wishers constructed new modern classes. The pupils have been studying under a tree for more than 2 years in efforts by parents to fight illiteracy in the community.
Olgulului village, Kajiado Sub-County. It is song and dance at this local school, with pupils, their parents and teachers expressing their joy of having 3 modern classrooms after 2 years of studying under a tree. The village had been buried deep in illiteracy for decades, with few schools which are far apart. In a bid to change the narrative, in 2019, a group of parents collaborated to start a makeshift school under a tree which could accommodate the high number of children who are staying at home despite being of school-going age. The first cohort comprised of 14 pupils who are placed under 2 female teachers, and the numbers have since risen. The noble gesture from the parents, however, did not come without challenges, with learners forced to endure unbearable circumstances to quench their thirst for a bright future.
Iko na upepo na kinyesha, siku hiyo nafunga shule. Sababu ikinyesha hiyo makarasi hizo nini nararua.
In the rainy season they have to close for maybe up to 2 months. They can't go to school. There's so many wild animals and it's dangerous for them.
The obtaining situation forcing a tourist who was visiting the nearby Amboseli National Park to come to their rescue, marshalling support from other well-wishers to build 2 modern classrooms for the now more than 25 pupils, offices and latrines.
These people, the Maasai people here, are really serious about education, and that touched my heart so much, and I thought, okay, I really want to support them. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna start a fundraiser on Facebook. So I did that, and it just took off. I got so much support from so many people. In January, end of January, I had enough money to build 3 classrooms and a toilet.
When it came to finishing, she sought our support, and we found it a worthy cause and came in to donate desks. We have also donated water tanks.
Parents have lauded the initiative, which they say is a new beginning in raising the standards of education in the area. For Lunchtime News, I'm Safin Aching Oma.
Well, that report brings us to our first break here on Lunchtime News. Don't go too far. We'll be back in a jiff.
sasa ni siku yetu ya mwaka wa 10 tangu tulinyakua uhuru wetu, na mimi nasema kwamba sababu katika ulimwengu huu kuna wengi ambao wana macho lakini kuona hawaoni, na mimi nawaambia wale ambao wako na macho waangalie si mbali, lakini waangalie katika mji wa Nairobi, waone vile maendeleo inakuendelea. Kama wewe kweli ni mwanaume au mwanamke mtukufu, kama anajua yeye ni huru, atingisha kidole namna hiyo, nyang'ao waanguke. Uhuru! 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 Uhuru na kazi!
Waswahili walisema kikulasho kinguoni mwako. Hapana ile iko hapana ile iko na tambaa juu kama mimi naona dudu natembea juu. Hii hapa nauma mimi iko juu. Lakini ile kitu nakula wewe lazima nakungia ndani ya nguo yako ndio nauma wewe. Namba 2, mfunja nchi mwenye nchi, mgeni msompile. Nasikia? Yule mtu anaweza kuharibu nchi ni yule mtu iko katika nchi hiyo, ni mwananchi wa nchi hiyo, ni mwananchi wa district hiyo. Lakini mgeni wakuja tu, atajua njia na kiko wako, atajua kila kitu. Ile kitu mimi nataka ni nyinyi muwe pamoja na mimi na serikali yangu bega kwa bega namna hii. Kama naangalia hivi naona wewe hiko, naangalia hivi naona wewe hiko, na hii neno ya kusema iko nyuma yangu
What? Yani Kate wewe ndo sababu kwa nini Badi iko asylum? Nilidhani watoto na
wakiwa pale Dingo.
Wapi? Watoto wetu sio?
Umewasahau ama wajitia nayo?
Supposed to be a surprise. Wait, you should talk.
I'm excited.
Manake sipendi kuuliza maswali about my clients. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Your tone.
Tell me, what is it?
Has come yet.
Why did you break your own promise? Why did you?
Do you know if it will die?
Come on, let it go. Listen to what she has to say. Do you know what?
Welcome back. Youth and local administrators in Mandera County have rolled out football leagues in efforts to rescue youths hooked on drugs in the area. Speaking during the kickoff of Kalalio Football League, Kalalio Area Chief Mohammed Aiden said the monthly 6-team league will help in curbing drug abuse in the area by keeping the youths busy.
During the kickoff of Kalalio Football League, Mohammed Adan indicated that most youths in the area involve themselves in miraa chewing as well as taking locally brewed chang'aa.
Na sisi wazee wa dini, wazee, religious leaders, youths, chiefs, we sat down and we said the only way we can stop this massive use of drugs is to start football clubs.
Adan advised them to shun drug abuse and instead engage in sports and focus on education to enhance their changes in being self-reliant.
Badala ya kwenda extremists waende kwa shagole walivaliza shule, iko ma colleges ya vocational training colleges, waende kwa wajue mambo ya carpentry, masonry, electrician.
Sentiments echoed by Mandera County Municipal Manager Salah Alio, who urged youths to avoid violent extremist groups.
Nasema mambo ya violent extremism muachane nayo, mambo ya kutumia dawa za kulevya na mambo ya kukula miraa muachane nayo. Sports ni ile njia ambao mtajifaidi, mupate afya na pia mujishughulishe na maisha.
Alio appealed to the government, political leaders, football officials and sports philanthropists to consider such initiatives in order to nurture sports in the county. Reporting for Lunchtime News, I'm Amboy Otiende.
Still on matters education, the Coast region has recorded a 60% transition rate to secondary schools, the lowest to be recorded countrywide in the 2021 calendar year. Poverty, drugs and early pregnancy have been cited as the leading contributors to the worrying state of affairs. Speaking in Jomvu, Mombasa County on Monday morning, Education Cabinet Secretary has subsequently directed education stakeholders from the region to make deliberate efforts to readmit students who dropped out of school due to those challenges to various government schools before Thursday this week.
We have about 80% of the children are at school. There are areas that are doing very well, with about 90% or so. This region of the coast is doing very badly, both Kilifi, Kwale and Mombasa and Tana River, Taita Taveta. So I decided to pass through here, and after about an hour we have identified 2 very bright students who failed to go to school.
Coast Regional Commissioner John Elungata has cautioned against the re-emergence of criminal gangs in the region, saying stern action will be taken against those behind formation of such groups. He noted that such gangs were being used to cause insecurity in the region and grabbing of private property.
It was at a meeting with religious leaders and scholars under the aegis of the Kenya Muslim Advisory Council that a Coast Regional Commissioner raised concerns over the regrouping of outlawed groups in the region in Mombasa, Kwale, Kilifi and Lamu counties.
Utakuta kuna makundi ya vijana makundi ambayo yanatumika sana kuumiza watu, kuwaibia, kutumia mashamba, hata mara nyingi kuwapigia viongozi kelele. Anasaidia kuingia kwa hoteli, kumsaidia bwenyenye fulani kuchukua uongozi wa hoteli hiyo na nini. Lakini serikali imekuwa ikipambana na hiyo hali, lakini tunaona kwamba sauti ya msomi haijaonekana katika kukana hawa vijana kufanya hayo mambo.
The administrator urged stakeholders to be vigilant on such activities in the run-up to the general election and promote good morals among the youth to prevent them from being used by politicians to create chaos.
Society lazima ijengwe kwa maadili ambayo yanashikiliwa na wasomi na viongozi wa dini na walimu. Without teaching, it can never work. Kwa sababu kwa watoto wengi, haya mambo tunayazungumzia, maendeleo, masomo, ni mafumbo kwao. Na kwenye mafumbo, lazima kuwe na ufafanuzi. Otherwise, utamwambia mtu soma, anaona ni fumbo.
Kenya Muslim National Advisory Council Chairman Chair Sheikh Juma Ngao, however, expressed concern over the dismissal performance in KCPE and KCSE exams, saying the matter must be addressed.
And in the political arena, TSP party leader Mwangi Kionjori has called upon the government to divert the money that was meant for the BBI referendum to providing relief food to starving communities. Speaking in Kirinyaga County, Kionjori said there was need for the government to intervene in uplifting the lives of Kenyans in arid and semi-arid areas. These, as a section of members of parliament who were supporting the BBI process, called on the Attorney General not to appeal against the ruling of the Court of Appeal on BBI.
And if you want to overturn that decision, you can still go to Supreme Court. But how I wish that from today henceforth, we should be able to address the immediate issues that are affecting our people. If you go down and to the villages, you realize that our people are becoming poorer each and every day. COVID is here with us. Already there is hunger in this country. If you look at all the radios, television, every one day we are talking of issues to do with mental health. Suicide rates are very high. Alcoholism. You get our people are jobless. And all what we are asking, if really this government is serious, why don't you divert those funds that you intended to use for the referendum to sort out those issues that are affecting the common man?
This country is ours, and whatever comes, whatever was very, very important in the BBI is not how we share the positions. It is how the money goes to the grassroots. It does not matter how many BBIs we have. It does not matter how many laws we do. If we do not say no to impunity, if we do not say no to corruption, this country is going nowhere. These are the only two things I want you to check for. And Wanjiko, if you want to elect anybody, a leader, please check for these things.
A section of Kikuyu Council of Elders in Narok County has called for harmony and coexistence among communities as the country heads to the 2022 general election. Narok County Kikuyu spokesperson Mzee Zakaria urged those vying for various political seats in the area to do so with sober mind. He further stated that ethnic conflicts are brought about by political differences between communities.
Kwa hivyo mimi ningetaka kuadvise Maasai na vijana wa Maasai muwe umoja. Kutoka zamani tumeshawahi kuwa na urafiki na Maasai, hatutaki kuamukana.
Now let's talk business. Lamu Port is fast becoming a transshipment hub for Zanzibar and the Far East. So far, the port has received 5 transshipment ships destined for these 2 markets. Now, Treasury Cabinet Secretary Ukur Yatani has said the government plans to dispatch teams to Ethiopia and South Sudan to market the facility. The port was operationalized in June this year after more than a decade of construction.
Almost 3 months since the Lamu port was opened for business, the facility has received 5 vessels with goods destined for Zanzibar and the Far East. The first vessel docked at the facility from Soviet Union, where it collected about 50 containers from Zanzibar headed to Far West. The government says business prospects look promising, with the 6th vessel expected to dock at Lamu in the next 2 weeks, as more shipping lines develop interest to use the port. Treasury Cabinet Secretary Ukur Yatani says with proper marketing and visibility, Lamu Port will constitute to attract more customers, especially in the neighboring countries.
That we are now set to go beyond what we've been engaging, and the next few weeks we'll be sending delegations to the original intended, to meet the original intended objective of penetrating southern Ethiopia and South Sudan.
However, lack of proper infrastructure is hampering trade at the port, with the Kenya National Highways Authority undertaking the development of various roads in the area, being urged to fast-track the projects.
The road from Lamu to Garsen to Malindi is complete. This now will give us an opportunity to evacuate cargo from Lamu to the rest of the country and beyond.
Kenya Ports Authority says it continues to deploy state-of-the-art equipment to Lamu to boost business. KPA is set to acquire ship-to-shore gantry cranes in order to fully kit the 3 berths at Lamu Port. To hasten the clearance services, the port is connected to other government departments like the Kenya Revenue Authority and the Kenya Bureau of Standards.
Over 1,000 youth are set to benefit from a 60 million shilling fish pond labour-intensive project in Busia County. The project, which is a partnership between the county government of Busia and Climate Smart Agriculture, will see the construction of 100 fish ponds.
Speaking during the county governor's visit on the site of the projects, beneficiaries said the initiative will help them settle some of their basic needs.
Nibadilishia maisha. Kwa sasa hivi naweza pia toa hata shilingi 3,000 nipeane baba aongeze na yenye yako nayo peleke mtoto shuleni.
Ilinisaidia kulipa mtoto school fees. Mtoto mwenye alikuwa amefuguswa alikuwa anakaa na mimi nyumbani. Wakati nilipata hiyo pesa nikarudisha huyu mtoto kwa shule kwa hiyo pesa.
On his part, Busia Governor Sospita Ojamong said the project will spur local economic growth. He at the same time said his office will dispatch officials from the Department of Fisheries to train local farmers on fish farming.
Ile ajira ya kazi ya kwanza ya mkono itafanywa na vijana kutoka hapa, na leo watalipa pesa yao, na mimi ningeomba hiyo pesa mkipata muende pia mweke kwa mradi mwingine. Tutakuwa na maafisa wetu hapa wenye ujuzi kwa maneno ya ufugaji wa samaki. Watakuwa hapa, watakuwa nafunza wale ambao watakuwa wanasimamia huu mradi, na pia watakuwa nafundisha wale watu kutoka kwa jamii yetu maneno ya ufugaji wa samaki.
Timothy Odende, Director of Fisheries, revealed that each fish pond has the capacity to produce 300 kilograms of fish.
It has a capacity to produce in each pond 300 kilos. So the 100 ponds should be able to do 30 tons, and so we hope that with the fish and the money flowing in here, it will spur economic growth around this community.
For Lunchtime News, Yusuf Hilo.
In other news, vehicle dealers have welcomed the government's decision allowing imported second-hand vehicles to exit the port of Mombasa without number plates as the country grapples with shortage blamed on lack of raw materials. Now, Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry Mombasa Chapter CEO James Kitavi says the directive has eased congestion at container freight stations that had been experienced for a month. Kitavi made remarks during the opening of Jacky Kenya offices in Mombasa.
We cannot call ourselves your number one car portal, your access to true transparency in the market if we do not have a presence in Mombasa. Mombasa is not only Kenya's second largest city, it is also undisputably the hub of the car trade.
We are here to foster partnerships, and with partnerships I mean we want to make sure that our dealers find it easy to not just sell vehicles, but we help them and we enable them do their business.
Now, the second phase of the satellite TV project seeking to provide TV services in 400 remote villages in Uganda has been launched following the successful conclusion of the first phase in 2019. Under the project of access to satellite television for 10,000 African villages, 400 selected Ugandan villages will be connected onto the digital television network by StarTimes, a Chinese-owned digital and terrestrial TV service provider. Here are the details of these and other stories from the African continent.
Chinese officials describe the access to satellite television for 10,000 African villages initiative as a people-centric investment, since it caters for the less privileged masses and enables them to fit in the digital world. Song Wei, project director at StarTimes, said connecting villages will start this month and end before December 25th. Song said homes, public places, schools and offices will be connected with satellite television sets. He says the project is set to benefit students in rural areas who have difficulty in accessing education information. The first phase of the project has benefited over 500 villages and more than 500,000 people in Uganda. Meanwhile, Ethiopian Airlines Group has established a global standard cargo conversion program to convert the B767-300ER to freighter services following a partnership agreement with Israel Aerospace Industries. The new passenger-to-freighter conversion center in Addis Ababa will commence its first business with 3 Ethiopian Airlines-owned B767-300 aircraft. The conversion line in Ethiopia will join existing conversion sites in Israel Aerospace Industries, operated at its campus in Ben Gurion International Airport and in Mexico. Elsewhere, thousands of people in South Africa's Western Cape province have started flocking to the West Coast National Park to catch a glimpse of dazzling wildflowers that are in full blossom. At the end of South Africa's winter, a sea of flowers brightens the country's west coast, providing tourists with picturesque views. An array of wildflowers of many different species puts on an impressive show, creating a spectacular natural carpet of brilliant rainbow colors. Flower enthusiasts come from far and wide to catch a glimpse of the annual floral display, a unique experience which only happens for a few weeks every year. And after the flower season ends in a few weeks' time, visitors to the park will still be able to enjoy its rich biodiversity and picturesque views all year round.
LG Chem Limited shares fell by 10% after General Motors company said it would recall an extra 73,000 Chevrolet Bolt cars using its faulty batteries. Now, the South Korean company has suffered a similar nosedive in the past after a similar recall by Hyundai Motor Company. Now, details of these and other stories from across the globe.
General Motors on Friday expanded its recall of Bolt electric vehicles due to fire risk from what it called battery manufacturing defects, saying the recall would cost $1 billion and that it would seek reimbursement from LG. The US automaker said that the recall covers vehicles beginning model year 2019 and that it would indefinitely halt Bolt sales. LG on this said it was working to ensure a smooth recall and is preparing an initial public offering for battery unit LG Energy Solution. The company has lost $5 billion in market value, with its stock on track for its biggest intraday percentage loss since March 2020. Meanwhile, more than 80 private COVID travel test providers listed on the UK government's website will be issued 2 strike warnings over misleading prices. A further 57 firms will be removed from the website on Monday because they either no longer exist or do not actually provide the relevant tests. The government will also introduce spot checks on the test providers. The UK government has made it a condition of international travel to England that tests before travel and on your arrival in the UK are mandatory. Finally, PayPal Holdings Incorporated will allow customers in the UK to buy, sell and hold Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies starting this week. The rollout, which marks the first international expansion of PayPal's cryptocurrency services outside of the United States, could inspire further mainstream adoption of the new asset class. With over 403 million active accounts globally, the San Jose, California-based company is one of the largest mainstream financial companies to offer consumers access to cryptocurrencies. The company hopes its foray into the new asset class would encourage global use of virtual coins and prepare its network for new digital currencies that may be developed by corporations and central banks. Reporting for Lunchtime News, my name is Hibar Saeed.
And in the sports world, West Ham United will be without the services of Arthur Masuaku when they welcome Leicester City to London tonight. The wing-back is still building his fitness following the knee operation he underwent last season. Meanwhile, former Chelsea forward Tammy Abraham provided 2 assists as a